All right. We're gearing up towards that 7 o'clock time. Just wanted to get in here just a couple of seconds early. Make sure anybody who wanted to get in would actually do so. Hope everybody had a wonderful 4th. And whatever festivities you had yesterday, want you to continue those on today. It's still a day to be happy, a day to be free. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. So it's 7 o'clock. Good morning. How in the world wide are you? Thank you for tuning in. Those who are here and those who watch later, thank you for watching it as well. Again, hope you have an excellent 4th. Yesterday, you did what you wanted to do. Now it's time for some to get back to work. So let's go to work talking about this thing. All right. Start my time. Today, we're going to talk about living in a halfway house. Now, please understand when I say this, it is not meant to offend anybody who may be living in a halfway house or who have already lived in a halfway house. There's a lesson to come with this. A halfway house is a place of transition. It's a place of progression because you've been somewhere, perhaps a prison system, and now when you go to a halfway house, you have an opportunity to have more freedom without the full benefits of freedom. And I need you to understand, some of you right now, you're living in a halfway house because you're stuck between being who you currently are and who you are designed to be. You're struggling with that. You're having a hard time seeing yourself how you're supposed to see yourself when you look in the mirror. Also, when you look into your future, that means you're living in a halfway house. You have some of the freedoms of living life every day, going to work, raising a family, doing what you want to do, but it's like you're stuck in a vortex. And life is not meant to be stuck in a vortex. You're meant to be stuck with a vision and have a plan for your life to be who it is you are supposed to be. Not just who you want to be, but who you are strictly designed to be. Now, what's your crime? What put you into a halfway house? When somebody's in a halfway house, some type of crime has already been committed. Your crime is simple. You are smothering your own self. If you smother somebody and they die, you go to jail. You're doing the same thing with yourself. You're smothering yourself and you're stuck in this halfway house because you're doing it. And it's like every day you're confirming to yourself you're not worth something. That's a lie. Stop doing it to yourself. Here's the thing. I guarantee you can find some enemies who will love to smother you physically, okay? Some of them are already doing it vocally, okay? Some of them are doing it mentally because they're already thinking something negative about you. You don't need to do that to yourself. And this is what happened to you. You're trying to figure out, man, who am I? What am I supposed to be doing? And it's simple. You just got to realize who you are more than anything else, okay? How do you know you're in a halfway house? First, you start and you stop. You're too afraid to go forward. And here's something you got to understand. The future is not scary. It seems like it is because you cannot see it. The future isn't scary. What's scary is holding on to what you've already had in life, where you already been in life. And here's the thing why the future shouldn't be scary, because if you look back over your life, you've already overcome so much, so many times, that should give you all the fuel you need to continue to go forward. So don't get so stuck in thinking, oh man, what's my future going to be like? It almost doesn't matter because you just go forward with your future. Now, me, everybody's different. When I cut my grass, I go straight. I don't back up, go forward and backwards, because when I look back, I want to see a pattern of equal columns along the way. And you got to learn to do your life that way. Like I cut my grass, just go forward. Make sure you do whatever it takes to stay in line with your vision. So when you do look back, you can see a consistent pattern of all the good you have done. Do I sometimes get out of line? Absolutely. But it does not mean I continue to do the same thing. It does not mean if I get out of line with one column, every column is going to be the same way. I just have to get back lined up. And you just really get to a place where you're getting back lined up with the dynamic person you are supposed to be. Okay? Here's another way we know we're stuck in a halfway house. When you feel as if I don't need to change, I am good like I am, that is a lie. Okay? We all need to change. And you can't be so high-minded to where you think, I'm just so good and I'm so great, I don't need to do anything differently. Here's the thing. Physically, you're going to change. None of us look like we did 10 years ago. 20 years ago, even go back 5 years ago. What we think is different. Even if we're still doing some of the same thing, what we think is different because we're going to be a little bit more careful. So mentally, you have got to realize, you know what? I've got to grow somewhere. Something about me has to change from what it already was, okay? What's another way we know we're stuck in a halfway house? Lack of self-complementation. That's huge right there. Because with the lack of self-complementation mean we're waiting on somebody else to always say something good about us and we're not doing it for ourselves. Here's the thing. Nobody knows you like you know you. So if there's anybody who's going to put some pep in your step, who's going to speak a good word into you, it has to be you. If your husband never tell you how fine you are, lady, you better know you fine. He should. If your wife never tell you you're a sexy man, brother, that's fine. You should know that, even if she doesn't do it. If your children never tell you you're a great parent, or parents, if you don't tell your children you're proud of you, all of this stuff, it does help, but it does not define the actual you. You got to know that. And you got to stop waiting on everybody else to give you a compliment. It's like when you're in school, you make an A on the paper and the teacher say you did a great job. You feel good about it, but guess what? You feel even better when you realize you did a great job. And you got to look at your life and say, you know what? I may have had some hang-ups here. This may not have gone like I wanted to go. It does not mean I'm a failure. It does not mean I'm a bad person. It does not mean I'm not going to be free. Okay, a halfway house, again, you got some of the freedoms, but not the full benefits of being free. You're working towards that. And understand what I'm saying to you today. It is all about a process. Everything has a process. We don't want it, but everything has a process to get to that place. But you got to be willing to commit to it. Here's the thing. We commit to being negative and down on ourselves every day. Why don't we commit to the exact opposite? And if you really take a look at yourself, you'll realize I feel bad all the time when I'm negative towards myself. If I were to stick with the plan of being positive towards myself, how would I feel then? Is it that simple? Yes, it's that simple. You just got to make up in your mind, this is what I'm going to do. Okay? Here's another one. How do we know when a halfway house? We refuse help when it is offered, when it is not the help we want. Boom, this gets us all of the time. Most of the time, we either want money, we want a shoulder to cry on, we want somebody to listen to us. Not many times are we willing to take in the wisdom somebody is giving us. That means we're stuck. That means we're not free because we have an outlet. Somebody's trying to give us something. This is why we should always be reading something. This is why we should be listening to something that's positive. This is why we should always be telling ourselves something good about ourselves because we need that. And here's what I need you to understand. Every tunnel has an exit, no matter how dark it is. Doesn't matter how dark life is for you right now. I guarantee you, again, if you stick with the plan and stay consistent, you have no choice but to get to the light at the end of the tunnel. Why do we always talk about light at the end of the tunnel, but we stuck at the light at the beginning? Some stuff you just got to go through it in life. You cannot sit in the tunnel because something's going to happen to you because you cannot see your way around if you're stuck into a dark tunnel. You got to go to where that light is. And here's something I need you to understand about when you start to get free. Now, I'm a Spider-Man fanatic. Love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is really Peter Parker. Okay, but Spider-Man gets distracted when he brings Peter into Spider-Man's affairs. There it is right there. What you're doing is you're stuck because you should be this superhuman person, but you're bringing many factors into your life. Okay, when Peter started thinking about Aunt May and Mary Jane, he gets totally distracted when he's trying to fight an enemy or save the world. He gets distracted. And Superman is the same way when it comes to Lois Lane, man, because he gets so tender and weak. I don't need you to get tender and weak at this moment. This is a time of strength. This is a time to say, you know what? I'm changing my life. I'm changing everything about me. And it started yesterday. Oh, yeah. We're not starting today. We started yesterday. Can you go back and change yesterday? No, you cannot. But you can be so focused today and so hell-bent on changing today, it'll seem like you started this thing yesterday. Okay? One more note, and I'm going to be done. I'm a grilling fanatic. I love the grilling. I am pretty dang good at it, if I must say so myself. Again, I compliment myself on what I do. Charcoals aren't ready until they go from black to gray. Okay? Not half of them being black and half of them being gray. It has to be a full turn from black to gray before charcoals are ready. In other words, you have to get heated before you can put out some heat. Go through the heating light, stay heated, because that heat is what's going to allow you to break free. Break free and stay free. Stop committing crimes against yourself. That's all I have for you today. As I always say, make today your glory, or tomorrow it will be somebody else's story. Have a knockout day.